Flips it down low to Howard. 4 on the shot clock. Howard flips it out. Baseline J, and that's good from Boston. Tipped right.
What a pass.
Boston bounce pass. Mitchell couldn't get it. Ball danced on the rim and fell out. Offensive rebound. Sims the runner.
The Indiana Fever just shocked the WNBA world. With their playoff hopes on the line against the LA Sparks, they pulled off the unthinkable, and they did it without Caitlin Clark. Everyone thought the season was doomed the moment their superstar went down. But on this night, it wasn't Clark's show. It was Aliyah Boston's. She stepped forward, carried her team, and proved Indiana is not a one-woman story. The question now isn't just about a single win. It's bigger. How did Boston silence the critics? And what does this mean for the Fever's future?
Does this feel like a playoff game? The crowd, the being is into it as they are. Well,
absolutely.
Usually are anyway.
I think every single game when we're competing.
We've never played in a playoff game.
But I would assume, right? Does it feel like it?
Can you predict the future?
I mean, maybe.
I guess.
I mean, maybe we can. We can see.
I think they got a little more in them.
When Caitlin Clark went down, the entire Indiana Fever offense changed overnight. She wasn't just their leading scorer. She was their floor general. With her running the show, the ball zipped around the court. Players moved with confidence, and scoring came easier. Without her, the rhythm broke. Assists dropped. Turnovers climbed. Games felt heavier, slower, harder. Analysts didn't hold back. Many said flat out, the Fever can't win without Clark. And for a while, it looked true. Fans worried. Broadcasters questioned whether the season was already over. The weight of expectation fell on a rookie's shoulders, and suddenly, without her, the league was buzzing with doubt. But here's the real question. Should one rookie really carry the burden of an entire franchise? Hit like if it's a yes, and subscribe if it's a no for you. While everyone was glued to Clark's absence, waiting to see her return, Aliyah Boston was quietly preparing to change the conversation. And change it she did.
Green coverages right now.
Here's Mitchell on the handoff, bounce pass. Boston one bounce and a left-handed finish.
I mean, forget about it.
Boston walked into the game against the LA Sparks with one mindset alone, no excuses. The Fever were without Caitlin Clark, their star, their closer, their engine. But Boston didn't flinch. She knew the only way forward was to dominate inside, and that's exactly what she did.
Boston looking for somewhere to go, finds home. Ball pulls up with the elbow, bounce pass to Boston, has the seal against Hamby and muscles it up. Shot fake against Mitchell. Plum, 7 on the shot clock. Backdoor Aliyah, they left her all alone. And all alone the other end is Boston. Boston runs the floor.
From the opening tip, Boston owned the paint. Every rebound looked like it belonged to her. On defense, she planted herself at the rim, swatting shots and making Sparks players think twice about driving inside. On offense, she bullied her way through double teams, finishing strong around the basket and forcing defenders into foul trouble. By the end of the night, her stat line told the story. Points in the high teens, double-digit rebounds, and multiple blocks. But the numbers only scratched the surface. What made her night special was her fire. Cameras caught her pulling teammates into huddles, clapping her hands, shouting encouragement after every defensive stop. She wasn't just scoring, she was leading.
The Fever, that is not true. We only played them 3 times this year. So she's 7-0 against the Fever. 7. Aliyah, like, Odyssey Sims, you have won the bank after your last game. Ariel Powers was the only player in the fourth quarter that actually looked to do anything. Like, she was 6 of 13, but she's the only one who looked to do anything. Nobody else looked to do anything. Kelsey Mitchell was scared to drive, it seemed.
Analysts and fans alike praised her balance, humble in interviews, but fierce between the lines. It wasn't flashy basketball, it was survival basketball. And that raises a question for anyone watching. If your team lost its brightest star, would you rise like Boston or shrink away? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. From the very first quarter, it was clear this wasn't to be an easy ride. The Fever came out with energy, setting the tone on defense, while Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell powered the offense. But the Sparks weren't going anywhere. Every Indiana run was answered with a counterpunch. Kelsey Mitchell hit big shots when the Fever needed them most, finishing drives through contact and drilling jumpers to keep Indiana alive. Lexie Hull, usually overlooked, logged exhausting minutes, battling on both ends and diving for loose balls. Off the bench, Shey Peddy gave a surprising boost, knocking down shots and keeping the floor spaced.
Her first made free of the game and the free throws. 7 on the shot clock. Mitchell turning the corner. Jump stop in the lane, loses the ball. Brink throws it right to Boston. Easy Using the Stevens screen. Pick and pop action. Here's Stevens. Backdoor. Alaman has a lane. The layup good. Julie Alaman, 5 points here tonight. They go high-low and Boston the beneficiary.
Still, the Sparks kept swinging back. By the fourth quarter, the tension was thick. Los Angeles cut the lead, and suddenly the game felt like it could slip away. Every possession mattered. This was when Aliyah Boston showed why she's the anchor. She grabbed clutch rebounds in traffic, blocked a shot at the rim that could have swung momentum, and calmly scored inside to give the Fever breathing room. With under 2 minutes left, she sealed another rebound, drew a foul, and sank the free throws that put the game out of reach. The buzzer sounded, and it was official. The Indiana Fever had clinched a playoff berth. Against all odds, against all doubters, they had done it. They weren't supposed to do it, one analyst said, but they did.
And good hands there by Aliyah Boston, just wrestles it away from Agumake, and here is Mitchell.
Usually you'd have a 2-for-1 right here if you had Caitlin Clark on the floor, but without Caitlin Clark, you really need to get a good look.
They do get a good look, and it's Boston to Mitchell. Here is Boston going at the rookie. Boston using her strength to get to the rim.
And this wasn't just about making the postseason. This game sent a message. Playing without Caitlin Clark is like trying to drive a car without its engine. The Fever felt that all season. Without her vision, the offense slowed down. Ball movement had to be forced instead of flowing naturally. Players were pushed out of their comfort zones, learning roles they weren't used to.
That one more dribble puts the shot blocker inside the cylinder of the rim. It's just a really good job. That's what I'm talking about. An extra dribble to get Malonga inside the cylinder of the rim.
It's been a strong start to the third quarter here for Indiana. An 11-point lead has grown to 16, and Boston adding to it, and one and a foul.
Screen and roll, and a good seal. I say this.
Kelsey Mitchell had to shoulder the scoring load night after night. She became the go-to option, carrying the offense even when defenses swarmed her. Lexie Hull logged heavy minutes, grinding through fatigue, just to keep Indiana's rotation alive. It wasn't pretty. At times, it was downright exhausting, but the Sparks win changed the conversation. It showed that the Fever could adapt when everything was stacked against them. They could lean on role players like Shey Peddy for a spark, or count on veterans like Erica Wheeler to steady the floor. It wasn't the same team without Clark, but it was a team discovering something far more important: grit. This wasn't just about X's and O's. It was about finding fight when it would have been easy to fold. Would you keep rooting for a team that refuses to quit, even if the odds were stacked against them? Comment below.
Really good in a one-on-one.
So a 14-2 run, bridging the two quarters for the Aces. Boston is tangled up. Jump ball is the call.
I mean, when you reach around from behind to tie somebody up, that doesn't usually get you a jump ball. I mean, I don't know how. Watch this play right here. Look. They're going to call jump ball from behind? Look at Asia Wilson's like looking at the ref. Aliyah Boston's like, you got to be kidding me.
Does this feel like a playoff game? The crowd, you know, the being is into it as they are. Well,
Absolutely.
They are anyway.
I think every single game when we're competing.
We've never played in a playoff game.
But I would assume, right? Does it feel like it?
Can you predict the future?
I mean, maybe.
I guess.
I mean, maybe we can. We can see.
I think they got,
we'll see.
I think they got a
to you.
little more in them. Come on.
Frankly, even as teams survived without Clark, Aliyah Boston made sure the story was crystal clear. When people say Aliyah Boston didn't hold back, it wasn't just about her stat line. Yes, she dominated with points, rebounds, and blocks, but it was the attitude behind it that mattered most. For the league, this was a warning shot. The Indiana Fever aren't just a novelty story built on Clark's popularity. With Boston leading, they're a problem every team has to respect. And for Boston personally, it was a roar of authority. She was the steady leader who finally raised her voice at the perfect time. But was this win enough to shift the balance in the playoffs? Because what comes next is about more than one team. It's about the entire league.
When you look at Kelsey's play and you look at what she means to the squad, I mean, coming out of that second half and going off the way that she did, I think it kind of speaks for her case in general. She comes out, she defends, she scores the ball, she plays 40 minutes a game. And it's just like, and she still consistently puts up these numbers. I feel like if she's not MVP, shoot.
Clinching a playoff berth against the Sparks didn't just give Indiana a reason to celebrate, it changed the entire playoff picture. For months, critics said the Fever were too dependent on Caitlin Clark, and to be fair, her impact has been undeniable. With Clark on the court, Indiana's offense flows, the ball moves, and scoring comes easier. Without her, they looked shaky. But against Los Angeles, Aliyah Boston showed that this team can punch above its weight. Her 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 steals weren't just numbers on a stat sheet. They were the backbone of Indiana's survival. Pair that with Odyssey Sims' 21 clutch points off the bench, and suddenly the Fever didn't look like a one-woman show.
Start for LA. They made 3 of their 4 field goals. Here's an errant pass. Chased down by Plum. Plum 1-on-2. Ripped away there by Sims. Great play by Odyssey Sims. Play the ball. 3-on-3 the other way. Sims the take and finishes the lefty layup. Rotation tries to attack baseline. Gets into the paint. Her pass is deflected. Picked up by his 5. Sims spinning against Van Loon. Sims the floater. Oh, what a shot there by Odyssey Sims. Just going to work.
They looked like a unit. Even the comments couldn't hold it in. One commenter wrote, "Please don't let Odyssey Sims leave the Fever after Clark returns. Sims is definitely a keeper, and that matters in the playoffs." We've seen it before in sports. The March Madness underdog that knocks out a #1 seed, or the NBA's scrappy 8 seed that shocks the league. The Fever now carry that same energy. They've gone from being dismissed as Clark's team to becoming the scrappy, dangerous underdog no one wants to face. Would you bet against a team this hungry and fearless? Would you put your faith in the Fever, or is this run too good to last? Type definitely in the comments if you would, because if Caitlin Clark returns at full strength, Indiana doesn't just make the playoffs, they could become the dark horse nobody saw coming.
First quarter, we need to win the second here, but also realizing the advantage they have over the Fever in transition, saying let's continue to push the pace, but also move the ball sidelines and move off the ball as well, guys.
Shot clock at 9. Ball's loose. Van Loon tries to save it. Right in the hands of Howard. Here's Howard. Shovels Sims right at the doorstep and she gets it off the window. We have a contingent here in the building.
The Indiana Fever's story is about more than just wins and losses. It's about what the WNBA itself is becoming. Since Caitlin Clark entered the league, television ratings have skyrocketed, ticket sales surged, and sponsors lined up. In many ways, the business of the WNBA has been tied directly to her name. Sponsors and networks want stability, not a league that collapses when one rookie is injured. That's why Boston's rise matters so much. She's showing the WNBA can grow deeper roots and that protecting stars is about more than foul calls. It's about financial survival. So the question isn't just whether Indiana can win a playoff series. The real question is, can the WNBA handle its own growth without leaning on one player?
In 2022, I could not tell you how proud I was of what you all were able to accomplish. Coach Staley, what about Aliyah after that devastating loss in 2021 allowed you to coach her up?
Aliyah, wasn't that also the year when UConn, the tip in?
It was like close to the end. It was like the game went into overtime, but I had a chance to tip the ball and I missed it.
And then the same thing happened, you know, in the Final Four. And I know Aliyah. Oh my God, I know Aliyah. She is so devastated. She probably beat herself up the whole summer, but before it got to the summer, I'm just like, basketball has been too good to you. That is just a bleep on the radar. And if you stay in this space, you're not setting yourself up for the come up.
What do you think? Is this Boston's breakout or the league's turning point? The Indiana Fever shocked everyone. No Caitlin Clark, no easy path, yet they beat the Sparks, secured the playoffs, and sent a message to the entire league. Aliyah Boston didn't hold back, proving she can lead this team when the spotlight is at its brightest. Now the future hangs in the balance. Clark's return could make the Fever one of the most dangerous teams in the postseason. But is this the start of a Cinderella run, or just one shining moment before reality catches up? Drop your take in the comments. We're reading them all. Hit like if you believe in Aliyah Boston, and subscribe, because this Fever story is only heating up.